Saya merupakan salah satu dari volunteer startup lokal. Saya juga inisiator dari komunitas startup Bandung dan juga saya ketua dari komunitas Tetek Indo, sebuah komunitas khusus para pelaku startup pendidikan. Bisnis saya di Bandung yaitu marketing communication agency dan sekarang saya di startup lokal sudah 3 tahun. Teman-teman, sebelum kita masuk ke acara inti, ada sesi namanya startup update, di mana teman-teman bisa memiliki waktu sekitar 5 menit untuk mempromosikan startupnya masing-masing. Kalian ada 3, yaitu yang pertama Ayopop, yang kedua Wantedly, yang ketiga dari Telkom yaitu paket ID. Yang pertama kita sambut Ayopop. Kepada Ayopop dipersilakan. Tapi jangan untuk Ayopop. 5 menit dari sekarang. Mic sebelah sana. Belum nyalain kan? Oke, 2 menit dari sekarang ya? Iya. Kayak lagi pergi kali ya, kalau nggak kuat arah mereka tadi. Oke, thank you kesempatannya buat saat lokal, buat kita boleh kenalin Ayopop. Perkenalkan, saya Tommy dari Ayopop. Saya mau kenalin saat baru kita saat Indonesia, kita baru sekitar 2,5 bulan di Play Store dan App Store. So, apa sih Ayopop itu? Jadi awalnya itu saya dan teman-teman itu kita satu bulan ini kita kesulitan untuk beli pulsa di Indonesia gitu. Kalau kan pasti dia kasih bank dan juga kayak kalau kayak masukin ke convenience store bukan dari tadi toh. Nah kita pengen kalau dari tadi pulsa itu sesuatu yang kita butuh langsung dapat. Nah, jadi dari masalah itulah kita pengen ekspor di jauh, kita bisa ngasih bikin solusi untuk menolong orang dalam beli pulsa. Next. Nah, kita lihat ternyata di Indonesia dengan 258 juta populasinya, itu sekitar 340 juta sekarang aktif. Berarti orang Indonesia tuh heavy banget main handphone. Mereka bakal satu handphone punya singkat. Dan dari 340 juta aktif itu 98%-nya prepaid. Mungkin beda sama yang di luar negeri mereka pas bayar ini mereka di prepaid. Jadi kita lihat ini orang banyak banget untuk beli pulsa dan beli paket data apalagi kalau sekarang. Next. Nah, karena itu kita pengen, kalau misalnya beli pulsa di mana nih? Gua habis pulsa di tengah malam, kemudian gua butuh beli pulsa, tapi sering banget kan nyari teman. Kalau gua mau beli pulsa, tapi kesusahan. Nah, kita bikin aplikasi namanya Ayopop, aplikasi buat isi pulsa 24 jam di mana aja dan kapan aja, semua operator, dan kita berikan sesuatu service yang penting kalian mudah, cepat langsung dapat, dan kemudian nggak ada biaya ekstra sama sekali kita berikan. Jadi ya itulah, kenapa kalau misalnya untuk sesuatu yang kita butuh setiap saat buat Oke, thank you. Yang kita butuh setiap saat, kenapa kita harus disulitkan? Kita pengen pengalaman kalian beli pulsa itu nyaman, cepat, dan mudah. 2 menit lagi. Oke, so terima kasih Pak. Terus, habis itu kita berpikir, oke, kita pengen nih sesuatu yang pertama, help you to save your time. Jadi mudah dan cepat. Itu dulu yang pertama. Pulsa harus langsung masuk dan nggak pakai dulu. Kalau misalnya kita minta kontak apa, kita tunggu dulu. Dia bangun, tunggu marketingnya. Nah ini harus save your time. Kemudian juga pulsa itu harus save your time. Nggak ada biaya ekstra, nggak ada biaya tambahan. Ya kalian beli 100.000 ya kalian bayar 100.000 tanpa biaya ekstra. Kalian beli paket data, ya kalian apa harus dimahalin? Kalian beli aja dengan harga segitu.
Habis ini yang udah tak siap.
Dan kemudian kita juga pengen help to help others. Karena banyak orang mas minta pulsa sama juga. Lu jual pulsa nggak? Kemudian ada yang besar orang tua juga berasal dan mereka kesulitan untuk beli paket data, beli internet. Nggak mungkin mereka registrasi sendiri di tanggal 1, 2, 3 begitu. Itu ribet banget. Nah, anaknya yang beli, mungkin kan tiap hari kita datang, tiap bulan kita datang untuk beli paket. Nah, dari Ayopop itu bisa beli paket langsung kita tembak di handphone orang tua kita. Jadi dan kita membungkusnya dengan sesuatu yang dengan human touch. Karena kalian biasa berinteraksi dengan orang, kita juga mau human touch. Sangat gampang sekali, sangat gampang sekali bisa langsung bikin, kemudian juga tinggal masih nomor handphone, tinggal pilih paketnya. Dan kalau ada masalah, 24 jam customer support kita siap jawab dan itu orang langsung. Jadi kalau pulsanya nggak masuk, paket data kan ribet banget ya, ada yang 4G, ada yang 3G, wah itu semuanya bisa juga oleh customer support kita.
Oke, time is up. Tepuk tangan yang meriah untuk Ayo Pop.
Jangan lupa dulu, thank you.
Terus simpan aja problemnya. Oke. Terima kasih Ayo Pop. Maaf, waktunya terbatas. Yang kedua adalah dari Wontedly. Ada Dika katanya. Oke. Tepuk tangan yang meriah untuk Wontedly.
Ada video ya? Ada video.
Dari Wontedly. Kali ini saya akan memperkenalkan startupnya kita, yaitu Wontedly merupakan platform perekrutan online dari Jepang. Jadi kita base-nya di Jepang, udah 4 tahun di Jepang. Ke Indonesia-nya baru hampir 1 tahun, yaitu September. Ya, boleh dilanjut. Ini ada video dari kliennya kita, salah satu startup company juga.
We started with all the quality event. So we provide tips, articles. We aim to be the authority on Japan beauty and Japan lifestyle in Indonesia. The first thing that I will do is show you the relation between almost and this essentially I can clearly say that the quality of potential candidate is really the company profile itself is very we put much feature and they can see you are how you work in the company. Today we already have and two of them are really
But I just check it like
of course, the best competitor candidate that we are looking for is our price. So the international is really helping us
We have
kalau tampilan di sini kalau jadi sini enggak ini settingan ini sini yang satu ini
Mas, tolong sekali. Yaudah, di sini saya ceritain aja. Sebenarnya Wontedly itu seperti yang telah dijelaskan oleh kliennya kita itu sebuah platform perekrutan itu yang mengusung kekuatan dari media sosial. Jadi kita mengambil lebih ke Facebook, sehingga jika kalian ingin memposting job yang ingin kalian buka suatu perusahaan, teman-teman kalian bakal dengan cepat dan lebih easy buat share ke teman-temannya. Jadi kita juga menggunakan kekuatan media sosial untuk mencapai para pekerja pencari kerja yang pasif. Jadi bukan hanya yang aktif. Seperti itu.
1 menit lagi.
Ya. Sejauh ini Wontedly itu sendiri sudah mempunyai 1 juta pengguna di seluruh dunia dan 15.000 klien. Sedangkan di Indonesia sendiri kita telah memiliki 500 startup company dan 10.000 bisnis. Jika ingin ada yang ditanyakan, mungkin kalian bisa akses langsung ke www.wantapuyi.com atau silakan bertanya langsung pada saya di sana. Terima kasih. Selamat.
Oke, terima kasih Wantapuyi. Selanjutnya adalah dari tuan rumah, yaitu startup yang baru saja masuk ke salah satu programnya, yaitu Paket ID. Kepada Paket ID dipersilakan. Tepuk tangan yang berada untuk Paket ID. Paket ID. Ada bahannya? Oke, sambil menunggu. Please raise your hand for those who doesn't understand bahasa Indonesia. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where I come from? This is global event actually. Austria. What is your goal to attend this event? Do you want to know our Meetup or just want to networking here?
Basically, try to understand the ecosystem of the cloud and make some friends, I suppose.
This is your first time coming to Jakarta?
First time, yeah.
Okay, thank you. And you from Saudi? Oh, it's so very nice. So what is your purpose to come to our event tonight?
Hello everyone, my name is Manar. I came from Saudi Arabia. It's so funny that we ended up here because we were backpacking Indonesia. And then out of the sudden, we rented on Airbnb an apartment for someone who owned a startup.
Wow.
And I told him like, oh, I own a startup as well, and I'm looking for a community here in Jakarta. Do you know where I can find people? So, yeah, there's this and that, and then it's cool that I found this event today. I'm really lucky because I'm really good. It's really important for me to understand the ecosystem and the culture here of startup in Indonesia because we need to change the perspective we have about Indonesia in our country. That one thing. The second thing is because we are the young generation. There is gaps here and there between one society and another. And to fill these gaps, we need some sort of bridges, some sort of like experiences from one place to another. Like in my startup, I have tons of gaps that I need to fill. One of them is programmers. If there's a programmer I want to do in my startup.
A lot of.
Right here. So looking for a team, looking for people who could just collaborate with this is what I'm working on, strategic partnership. So this is me, Manar, and my husband Amin. I feel bad that I brought him here, but he should be supported.
Okay, please give applause to Manar. Okay, thank you so much. Paket ID sudah siap? Okay. Oke, monggo 5 menit dari sekarang.
Selamat sore, saya dari Paket ID. Kita langsung logistik. Artinya kita bekerja sama logistik dengan Express, YT seperti itu untuk memudahkan pengiriman untuk e-commerce individual and business alike. Apa sih contoh aja langsung ya, nggak mau presentation. Ini web platform kita berdiri Android, iOS dan API. Tinggal masukin nama, nomor telepon alamat untuk pengirim dan terima, kita satu kode di bawah PWPSP. Di paket kita tinggal ditulis PWPSP itu cukup untuk mengirim barang. Artinya ini bisa menghemat waktu untuk mengirim, menghemat waktu untuk memproses juga di counter TV. Yang dulunya 1 jam di video paket jadi 15 menit. Nah, itu keuntungan yang pertama. Kedua, kita udah menghemat tracking. Artinya kalau dulunya kita masih nyari resi ya, ke customer kita kasih nomor resi dan lain-lain. Kita bikin SMS notification ke pembeli untuk trackingnya dan nomor resinya udah
Bisa paling ditambah lagi, kan ini perlu kartu ke depannya. Langsung sampai itu sendiri bisa langsung ini.
Oke, ketiga satu lagi kita juga provide online pickup. Artinya on demand pickup seperti Gojek, dulu mau ngirim barang harus pergi ke Kikinya atau J-nya, kita udah bisa langsung
Jadi kalau misalnya nggak minta lagi yang kemudiannya cuma ini bawa paket itu.
Kita ingin nyari ekspansi artinya dengan partner strategik ya, yang punya e-commerce, marketplace, logistics,
Cukup lah.
atau ini untuk biaya conferencing ya. Jadi kalau ada yang mau
Banyak banget.
tinggal dengan aku.
Tadi 30 meter.
Masih ya? Masih banyak ya?
Lagi foto-foto ya. Lanjut aja terus.
Ini coming up. Yes.
Oh ya,
kita juga bulan ini bakal naikin juga. Akhirnya bulan ini kita satu waktu sih. Jadi akhirnya lagi jadi benar tiga lain ya sama dengan tarif kita nggak begitu ya dengan tarif itu ya artinya kita nggak buat tarifnya itu
Satu menit.
udah juga ada juga udah kalau tadi masih dengan saya luar negeri ya mereka punya
oh, aku yang kedua.
jadi ada di marketplace teman-teman satu ya di bawah sini nanti sampai udah ada di bawah udah makanya udah ada API juga ada WordPress juga ada
Oke, ya. Time is up. Tepuk tangan yang mana untuk paket ID. So for this season we use bahasa buat bro kliknya bro jangan di bawah. Okay. And again I will speak in English. Okay, next session adalah opening speech perwakilan desa vokal. Jadi kami sudah mulai sejak tahun 2010. Bagaimanakah perjalanannya? Untuk yang mereka untuk barang kita saling perwakilan dari salah satu desa vokal and she will speak in English. Monggo, Pak.
Halo. Selamat malam, teman-teman. Because tonight we have special guests from Sweden, from Australia, from Saudi Arabia. I will introduce about Startup Local in English. Okay, so my name is Nikita. I'm one of the initiator of Startup Local. I think we have slides. Is the slide ready? Slide? Not yet? Okay. This is a mandatory question. Who is the first time being here? Wow. Okay. Most of you. Okay. Maybe you've been wondering what is Startup Local, what it is all about, why we do it for free. Free dinner, free networking, this is networking. So, Startup Local is the slide ready?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So this meetup has been okay. It makes it easier when you have slides. Okay. So Indonesia, we claim it as Indonesia's local startup ecosystem. It's the Startup Local community. Next. Yeah, we claim it's the biggest digital startup community in Indonesia. Why? It started right now. We have in terms of members, we have the biggest members in Startup Local community. Next. Yeah, this is the team. So we are very We have three initiators besides myself. Nuni Teta, I'm a PR marketing consultant and also registered student of psychology, counseling, also a mom. And we have Natalie Arvianto, he is CTO of Ticket.com. Maybe you have ever heard. Who happened to also be my husband. Okay. And this pretty woman right there is Salsa over there. Yeah, she's also the founder of Zeta Media, which have cool contents, going fire, and also the co-founder of nurisbuku.com. And we have apprentice. We call them apprentice in our team. We have Harry, who is the MC tonight. Where's Harry? Yeah, he's the MC. And Susie. Since she's a newly mom, she cannot go anywhere and in the evening. So she's been helping us in social media. So maybe if you see we have @StarLocal on Twitter, tweeting. It's not us. It's Susie at home. Watching from our streaming. And that's Danny. Danny is also a practice right there. Yes. Okay, next. This we call it from Speed Blank. A startup is not a small version of a large company. It's a temporary organization designed to search for a scalable business model. So startups should be scalable. And then next. Startup is tackles everything. Yeah, basically, we often, especially in Indonesia, confused. What's the difference between a startup and a small business? Startups, in terms of startup is small business, you can say that, but it's focusing on digital, especially IT. Next. This startup ecosystem that consists of these what do you call it, element, entrepreneurs, leaders, community, and talent, and then those things. And I think that on the top of that is the most important, mentor. I think mentorship, and also access to capital, of course, and communication platforms. Next. This is overview of Singapore Tech Startup Support Ecosystem. They have been building the startup ecosystem very well. I think government, venture capital, working space, media, venture capital, and networking events. They have all of that. In Indonesia, next. This Indonesia's local startup ecosystem in 2016. They consist of founders, startups, investors, mentors, talents, government, incubators, tech media, community, and also events. We have several of that in Indonesia going on. Next. We have Angels Club. Here are the list of Angels Club. You're looking for more funding. You can search for it. Okay, Angels Club. We have some more coming. And next. Investors, yeah, of course. We have Indonesia's first investors in 2015. We got the data from Baby Social. There were Convergence, East Ventures, Ideasource, Ventura, SMTD, and actually have a lot more. But these are the top investors. They're the biggest. Next. The startups, yes, these are the prominent startups in Indonesia tech industry. Very kitchen online catering service, like bread story, wedding directory, and check out is like online financial diet. Only 7 months operation in Bicol. They will be sharing. Diana founder will be sharing next Monday, if you have time, in Freeware in Kemang, the event called "Why My Startup Sucks." It's one of the speakers. And Fabio. Next. More startups. Of course, we have Gojek. Well, who doesn't know Gojek here? I don't think you never heard about it. And IBM Times, it should be Zeta Media here. Yeah, You should update it. You should update. Okay. Kudo and Crave, yes, boss. Next. Yeah, this is one of our the co-founder of Indonesian startup e-fisher. He won several awards abroad. He won. When's the last time he went to the Silicon Valley to uh, yeah, Google, yeah, to the Google Accelerator, and then so many. So this is very unique. Why we put it here? This is very unique, very local. That he made like some kind of system that could, a system where you can automatically manage feeding the fish by system. Next. Okay, incubators in Indonesia. Maybe you've been wondering, do we have incubators here? Of course, we do have. Like here, incubator, managed by Telco. We are here. Yeah, in the Indigo incubator. We also have Getty, Incubator, SkyStar Ventures, Venus Startup Accelerator. Venus is one of the biggest university, and KL Play, Jakarta Farming Institute, Idea Box by Indosat, and GDP Accelerator, which is here also. Next. Okay, let me. This is a story about Startup Global itself. Let me move to here. So back in 2010, that's where we started. On April 2010, we four geeks met accidentally in Starbucks in FX. They had chit chat about the tech industry. Back then, not so many people know about startup, what startup is yet. Like even those who are actually have or own a startup or run a startup doesn't know that it is called a startup. The term startup itself is not really proper. Just like right now, they still think, what is startup? What is the difference between startup and such a thing? So back then they meet and then they found the same energy, and then they think that why don't we make it like regularly, like every single month we do it. Okay, then the next month on April 2010. We gather people who are in startup industry in Indonesia to have meetups. The first time meetup. So we're like announcing it on Twitter. Let's meet up for startup owners or those who are in digital industry. And then they're like, when we found out so many friends that they are interested, we were like, okay, so many like dozens of people will come. We were like very surprised. And it turned out, on our first meetup, there were actually 33 people came. And we were like, oh, we have so many friends in startup industry. In fact, at the time, 2010 is not so many startups. At the time, we already have Tokopedia, but they are still very small. Tokopedia founder, I will tell about him later. So on the first meetup, there were founders of big startup founders coming to our first meetup, which is now mostly all of them are busy. They cannot attend this meetup, but we sometimes call them to share here. It's their turn. Next. Yes, this is Yahoo. One of the attendants of our first meetup was Satya. Satya was the co-founder of GoPro. GoPro is the first startup that is acquired by Yahoo, Silicon Valley tech company. So when we had the meetup, he was very quiet, which is unusual. Turned out later, we found out that at that time, he said, I really had this big news that my company is acquired by GoPro, which is some kind of history in tech startup industry, but I can't tell you because it's on NDA, right? So yeah, the next month, here come the big news, and startup industry been going. So people, especially from Silicon Valley, starting to highlight what's going on in Indonesia. I remember Startup Valley wrote about it in TechCrunch. Next. In 2011, we were invited Dublin by our Ireland Enterprise to visit Dublin. So they introduced us about how the government supports startup industry in Dublin. So me and three other initiators went there and learned about the startup industry and how the government support them. And we were like a little bit kind of jealous because at the time there were no support from our own government. Next, yeah, so we had several meetings with the prominent startup industry in Dublin. Next, here we learn about incubator. What we learned most, what we remember most from our visit in Ireland was, it was at first, before we went there, at first what we thought about incubator was merely a place where startups or a bunch of people working together at that time. But what we learned in Dublin, in Ireland especially, that the place is the least that they provide. What they provide is networking time, the mentoring, the ecosystem. So that's what this incubator is about. Next. Okay, so before this, so three months after our visit in Dublin, Ireland, we implement what we learned from Ireland. We made our own incubator in Indonesia called Project Eden. 3 months after that. And on the same year, we celebrate our first anniversary, Digital Heroes Goes Global, which is attended by like 500 people in FX. We booked on the movie studio. Next, we also launched this Startup Local book, which is you can order in Nulis Buku, Olis company, nulisbuku.com. You can search Startup Local. What's funny about this book is that all the co-founders they're writing the story themselves, which is very rare. You can find story written by William Tokopedia by himself, and from the what is the pricing company? I forgot the name. The checking for the price company. Where's the heading? No, not Tunjuk. The older one than Tunjuk.
Price area.
Price area. So, thank you. Thank you for yes. Price area also, and so many more. Next. Yeah, so starting from 2012, I think, yes, this is, we kind of switched the format from the panelist discussion into workshop, which happened to be very productive. Some workshop actually really for some startups, which is still going on right now. Next, here's William that I mentioned before, William from Tokopedia, the startup Indonesia that has been founded 1.2 billion? No, it's not billion. What is trillion? Yeah. So they got the biggest investment in Ireland, and they even now have a new round of investment right now. So he was also the one that attended our first meetup. And at the time, we can feel that how he's curious about to for this startup industry. Next, yeah, he shared his vision, his value back then, December 2014, I think, after he got invested, or 2015, if I'm not mistaken. Next. And this is Joel, the CEO of Buffer. If you use his service, Buffer, so he happened to come here in Jakarta and contact us whether he can speak in our behalf. Of course, we say if we have to pay and we cannot afford to invite him. Next, this is Epi. So from Singapore. Next. So here comes Indonesia in digital statistics. Next. yeah, 80 million internet users, which is 32%, and 96% are categorized as digital native. Next. This is funny because active mobile subscription is actually 130% of the population, which means each of us have on like more than one number, right? So this is funny number that I brought up when I was presenting in South Korea last this January, and people were like loving. Next, Indonesia. This is the fact that Indonesia is the fourth largest Facebook population in the world. Next. And 70% of Facebook users in Indonesia are under 25 years old. That means if your startup is targeting youth, then that will be good because we have a huge number there. Next. And time spent on internet via PC or tablet is 5 hours. Can you imagine that? 5 hours. So yeah, we are really huge in terms of internet users. So mobile users are 85%, and via PC is like 32. Sorry, that's a laptop. And via tablet is only 14%, and via PC is only 13%. So it means mobile wins the in terms of number. You know why? Can you guess? Why mobile wins? Very huge number here, 85%. Can you guess why? Not exactly. Traffic, exactly. Traffic. I remember when me and Ollie first arrived in Dublin. We went, of course, to the mobile shop, and we were like asking them for a mobile number and for internet data. The shop seller was like, why do you need mobile number? Because we're not. Because it's not popular there. I mean, like, because there to commute, it only takes like less than 30 minutes to get home, vice versa. Like here, for me, if I commute every day to my office, it took like 2 hours. So that's why mobile is in Indonesia, in Jakarta especially. So if you're startups, you have websites, and it's better be like mobile friendly. Next, this time investment in Indonesia. So 49% still seed. So and then followed by series A on 30%. Okay, next, investment categories. E-commerce still wins, which is it really makes sense. I mean, like, because when you're building your e-commerce, you can make money even from day one, right? I used to have my own online shop, a very tiny online shop. When the journalist asked me, how much capital that you expect for this, I'm like zero. I just put things. I took photo of my things and then of the shirt that I want to sell, and then when the people buy it, I just run to the shop and I buy it, and then I sell it. And from day one, I already got the revenue and also got the what's that? What do you call it? Laba. Yeah, from margin to profit for it since day one. Which is understandable why e-commerce is still number one in investment categories. Next. So these investment trends in 2016. This is what industry will be the next big thing in investment. So on demand, this is interesting. On demand is like yes, well, Indiana and also followed by e-commerce and advertising, IoT and SaaS and fintech with 11%. Next. Now, issues the challenges, of course, we have that, like any other else. As a startup founder in Indonesia, what is your biggest challenge? This is the question that been asked to founders, and the funny thing is the number one is talent acquisition. Talent acquisition. That is why we are talking about building team here, the topic tonight, because it's the biggest issue in starting startups, talent acquisition, and followed by capital availability and infrastructure and then government regulation. Yeah, talent acquisition is not only about the building your team, but also to maintain how the team could, like stay in your company. We'll learn about it later from them. Next. Okay, next. Yes, this lead startup, measure, build, and learn. Next. The startup cost that consists of building a website, mobile apps, marketing, IT improvement, key stock, and working capital. And then next. Next. So, why are you here? Why are you here? Anyone can share? Why are you here? Anyone will share? Nobody? Okay. Next. Okay, so maybe some of you want to start a business now. So this is the question: do I want to start a business now? And what to do next? We find co-founders at Meetups here in this place. So there are so many startups built within the startup local Meetup, the previous one. So why don't you, get to know each other after the event and then find co-founders at the Meetups. And then build thought leadership through social media and blog, which is sharing your values and your dreams and your vision. Next. So do I need an idea? So when you need an idea, you can easily sign up to startup weekends, hackathons, and meetups. But I think the easiest way to find the idea is what's your problem? What is the problem that you want to solve? Because when you ask, we have so many problems, right? So we can turn those problems into the opportunity. Next. So do I need funding? Go to events where investors are attending. We have so many. And then talk to them about what you do after their business cards. And arrange meeting to explain more about your project. So the tips here for if you meet the investor. So because sometimes I meet up with my friends who are investors, they're like, oh gosh, another startup's coming and they're pitching to me just meeting that's that one time the first time they meet and then it's just pitching and that is not actually not a good move. You gotta introduce yourself first, and then if they're interested, they can follow up later, not at that time because it can be bugging for some investor if you do that. Okay, next. Do we have next? Yeah. Do I want to find a job? So add your skills, enroll in web development, design, marketing courses we already have wantedly presenting previously, you can join them and find new opportunity for your career. Next. Now jobs at startups. Front-end developer, we have next. Back-end developer, UI UX designer, of course. Product manager, business development, digital marketing, community management. So there are so many varieties jobs as startups that you can try before you make your own startup. Next, do I just want to find out more about startups? You can follow our Twitter on startup X Startup Local and Startup Local on Facebook. You can search. And read media like hits.com, who is our media partner, Daily Social ID and Tech in Asia, and meet startups, founders, and be curious. And also we have Kozora here, who is our broadcasting partner. They have their platform, you can learn so many things about startups from Kozora websites. Okay, they're also broadcasting right now. Next. Get started at startup local meetup. Listen, learn, and take notes. I hope when the speakers share, we can, really focus on what she's talking about because we have networking time after the presentation, after the session over. Ask constructive questions to the speakers. Really expect you guys to be more active and talk to people, like change business card. If you don't bring your business card right now, maybe you can taking notes, or you come up to next month and don't forget to bring your the business card. Next, post to social media. Yes, I think that's the one of the easiest way that we can recognize you and remember your presence here. You can post to social media, write blog posts, mention us in Startup Local, mentioning Startup Local, or with the hashtag Startup Local. We might retweet what you tweet. Okay. So next, do we still have more? Okay, volunteer. We are open for volunteer. You can email all@startuplocal.org. That goes to all initiators of Startup Local. Next. And follow our mailing list, startuplocal@yahoogroups.com. And stay tuned at meetup.com/startuplocal, which is maybe that's how you find out about us. Okay, let's start up. And don't forget to drop by an email, or you can come to me or Oli or any other Startup Local committee if you have idea about what you can do next to with Startup Local. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Mbak Nini, for your presentation. And next, last opening speech from our host Telkom, please welcome Pak Gorga. Tepuk tangan yang beribu untuk Pak Gorga. Okay.
Halo, selamat malam semuanya. Perkenalkan, nama saya Anton Gorga. Saya dari Telkom, nama divisi saya divisi digital service. Nah, tugas pekerjaan saya sehari-harinya ya seperti ini, bergaul dengan teman-teman, terutama yang punya startup dan para orang-orang yang kayaknya tertarik gitu loh punya startup. Tadi saya ucapkan selamat datang ya di Jakarta Digital Factory. Tadi juga saya lihat waktu Mas Heri tadi kayaknya banyak juga yang baru ya. Kayaknya hampir 80% yang baru. Jadi mungkin saya cerita sedikit ya. Jadi tentang apa itu Jakarta Digital Valley. Nah, Jakarta Digital Valley ini adalah suatu fasilitas ya yang disiapkan oleh Telkom untuk ya sama seperti yang tadi Mbak Nunik bilang, networking. Jadi artinya walaupun kita perusahaan besar, tapi kayaknya kita juga perlu membentuk networking dengan para startup dan juga para orang-orang yang tertarik dalam bergerak dengan dunia startup. Makanya fasilitas ini kita adakan gitu loh. Kenapa kita tertarik gitu loh untuk mau bergaul dengan startup, walaupun mungkin startupnya juga ya mungkin masih yang baru mulai, ada yang masih baru setahun, bahkan tadi ada yang presentasi baru 2 bulan. Gitu. Kenapa kita tertarik untuk bergaul gitu loh, dengan membuat networking dengan para startup ini. Yang paling penting adalah dunia digital adalah dunia masa depan. Semua orang udah tahu ya. Mungkin kita udah sering lihat quotes, bahkan mungkin kalau teman-teman WhatsApp bisa lihat sendiri gimana dunia digital itu akan mempengaruhi kehidupan kita di masa depan. Gitu. Dan biasanya kalau orang mau menang di pertarungan di masa depan, dia harus invest di masa kini gitu kan, katanya kan seperti itu ya. Nah, inilah salah satu invest kita gitu loh. Kita mau menang di masa depan, nah caranya bagaimana? Ya kita harus invest di masa sekarang. Bagaimana caranya? Ya, kita harus bergaul dengan orang-orang yang memang nanti ke depannya akan menjadi pemenang gitu loh, yang menjadi pemain di dunia yang akan mempengaruhi kehidupan orang. Makanya Telkom membentuk suatu divisi digital service, dan dalam divisi digital service itu ada unit yang khusus bergaul dengan para startup. Nah, kita punya program sebenarnya namanya mungkin buat teman-teman yang tertarik ya, namanya program Indigo Creative Nation. Jadi program Indigo Creative Nation itu merupakan suatu program bagi Telkom untuk mencari orang-orang atau startup yang mau bekerja sama dengan Telkom gitu loh. Nah, kerjasamanya tentunya kerjasama bisnis ya, artinya win-win solution, artinya si startupnya juga dia punya apa namanya revenue dan Telkom juga punya bisa masuk atau juga Telkom bisa mendapatkan share dalam startup itu gitu. Namanya kita program Indigo Recognition. Mungkin saya mungkin karena keterbatasan waktu saya nggak bisa cerita panjang lebar tentang apa itu program Indigo Recognition. Tapi yang intinya adalah program itu merupakan suatu program Telkom untuk mencari atau bekerjasama dengan para startup. Jadi startup itu nanti akan kita lakukan kita inkubasi, kemudian habis kita inkubasi, kalau memang dia punya marketnya bagus, bisnisnya bagus, dia nanti kita masukkan lagi dengan tahap namanya akselerasi. Jadi kalau diakselerasi itu artinya dia dipercepat lagi bisnisnya supaya orang semakin kenal bisnisnya, terus marketnya juga semakin besar. Setelah itu dalam jangka waktu tertentu dan memenuhi kriteria tertentu, nanti kita akan follow on funding. Jadi Telkom juga punya suatu perusahaan yang khusus untuk memfunding para startup yang kita proyeksikan suatu saat nanti ke depan dia akan maju dan bisa menjadi suatu, kita harapkan dia bisa jadi big player gitu loh. Nah mungkin tadi udah sempat juga ya presentasi di sini paket ID itu merupakan salah satu dari startup yang kita bina. Kita masih punya banyak lagi startup yang seperti paket ID yang artinya yang kita ajak bekerja sama gitu loh. Nah mungkin dari teman-teman yang di sini yang punya startup, nggak ada salahnya kalau mau join di program kita. Mungkin teman-teman bisa lihat nanti di portal, nah itu ada visitas@indigo.id. Nanti coba teman-teman lihat di situ. Kalau memang tertarik ya silakan. Tapi kalaupun memang nanti istilahnya, wah saya mau belajar dulu, ya oke silakan, nggak apa-apa. Nanti datang-datang aja, sering-sering aja datang kemari. Kita udah kerjasama dengan teman-teman startup lokal ini hampir 2 tahun. Jadi setiap bulan kita selalu ada acara di sini, jadi teman-teman bisa cek sendiri lah ya. Kira-kira sekarang tanggal berapa nih? Tanggal 21, kira-kira bulan depan, kira-kira apa lagi nih momennya? Tapi sih kayaknya kalau lihat dari Agustus biasanya kaitannya dengan BPNT lah ya, atau mungkin para startup yang bawa nasionalisme lah ya. Mungkin saya juga nggak tahu sih. Sekali lagi itu dari saya mewakili Telkom. Selamat datang di tempat ini. Moga-moga di tempat ini teman-teman bisa mendapatkan banyak ilmu ya, mendapatkan banyak tips, dan kalau memang yang belum punya startup, mudah-mudahan bisa klik gitu ya, dan tahu kira-kira kuis enak nih, keren, kayaknya gua mau bikin startup ini nih. Oke, selamat ya, selamat berjoin dengan kita, selamat datang di dunia startup Indonesia. Terima kasih, selamat malam.
Okay, thank you so much Pak Burga for the opening speech as the last opening speech tonight. Oke guys, jam menunjukkan pukul 7.41. Kita akan bahas ke sesi utama. Please welcome Mbak Reno Raffi, CEO and founder Catalyst Global Consulting. Please give a applause to Mbak Reno. 1 jam yang banyak, monggo. Oke.
Alright, how's everybody doing? Good? I need to hear more voices. How's everybody doing? Good. Okay, great. So, good evening. Thank you so much for Telkom for your invitation. Thanks so much for Startup Local. I will try to speak in English. This is, I speak better in English than Indonesian actually, but I will try to mix it up so that nanti supaya banyak yang bisa ngerti juga. Okay. So before we get started, right? We want you to make sure that you tweet our events. They have our hashtag Startup Local, so be sure to use that, and that's my Twitter account, @. So you can follow me there as well. All right. So about myself, my name is Reno. I'm CEO and founder of Catalyst Global Consulting. I have about 10 years of experience in global HR. I served as an adjunct faculty at York College and also HR technology researcher. And I'm currently working on my PhD in business psychology in Washington, D.C. And also mom of 3. So, yeah. Full of life, right? And I put MVC. Do you know what MVC means? Who knows what MVC means? Raise your hand. Yes. No, MVC. Raise your hand, yeah.
Most valuable Korea.
Almost, but we get there. Most valuable clients. Most valuable clients. So you really have to know who are your most valuable clients, and these are my 3 kids. So, all right. So what do we have at Catalyst? We just shy 1 year last year. We are a New York-based strategic HR consulting firm. We help business leaders growing their business by making sure that you align people's strategy with a business strategy. And our portfolio is multi-industry and multi-size. And our recent clients are state government in Michigan. We have also a digital media company in New York and nonprofit from DC, and we also have one from FMCG in Jakarta. So we have different kinds of clients. We also have an event coming up soon called How to Manage Work-Life Balance. As you know, as the startups and entrepreneurs, you sometimes cannot manage your work life. So we provided this. It'll be July 30th. If you need more information, you can contact me and also my staff. Raise your hand, Kartika. Raise your hand. That's my Catalyst team member. Another one, because we're very passionate about our future HR generation, there's also another event in August 20th called Parenting in the Digital Media. So we want to make sure that parents, they are able to understand what works, what's positive, what's negative for their kids, using their technology and able to understand how to use them, how to make sure that the children use technology effectively. All right. And I would also like to share our services. We just launched Catalyst Gold, and this is actually our very passionate about startups. So this is services that we actually design especially for startups and small business. As you can see, it's really hard to manage talent. Talent acquisition is hard, but managing your talent inside your team is harder. So we want to help startups build their team, develop your strategy, and also your hiring strategy. All right, so what I want you to do right now is stand up. All right, so everybody stand up, right? Stand up.
Hi, and sorry to interrupt. There is organ announcement. Oke. Perhatian kepada pemilik mobil B8694IR Innova, mohon dipindahkan karena menghalangi mobil lain. Sekali lagi kepada pemilik mobil B8694IR Innova, ada yang punya, segera untuk memindahkan karena menghalangi mobil lain. Terakhir, pemilik mobil dengan plat B8694IR Innova, segera untuk memindahkan. Please continue yours.
Thank you. All right, so everybody stand up. So you find a partner next to you, yang belum kenal ya, and you introduce yourself, right? Introduce yourself and tell them why you're here. All right, so 2 minutes. Go. Let's go. All right, everybody has to speak with each other. All right, we got 1 more minute. 30 seconds. All right, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Please give everybody a round of applause. All right, thank you. You can sit down. All right, so I want one volunteer to tell me who their partners are or is. One volunteer, raise your hand. I want you to tell me not who you are, but who your partner is. Jadi kenalin temennya, bukan kenalin Anda.
Raise your hand.
Raise your hand. Come on,
Okay. I got one person.
Got one person? All right.
Okay, since I didn't see anybody raising the hand, so I have to introduce my imaginary friend. Okay, he's an interesting person in the IT industry.
Okay,
His name
good.
is Jack.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We got one more volunteer. All right. We got one more volunteer over here.
Well, please raise your
Raise your
hand.
hand.
Okay, over there.
So thank you. I have Banu here. He used to work for Wirecard AG, which is Prisma, and probably the office is in my building as well. Some building, different levels. So he's working in a startup. I forgot to ask about his startup. That's all. Thank you.
All right, great. Thanks so much. Let's hear from the female, from the women.
Female.
From the
Okay.
women. All right, good.
Okay, please stand up.
Women, please.
I talked to Prana. He has his own startup online shop that's called POC. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much. Please give a round of applause to everybody. So this is why you're here, right? You need to network. You need to meet with everybody, not just listen to me, right? So just bear in mind when you do network, please be sure to introduce yourself and make use of resources. All right. So let me know if I can move around, right? Let me know if I can move around. Is that all right? All right, so great. So our topic tonight is teamwork, right? What is a team? Who can tell me what a team is? What is a team? Don't be shy.
Bisa pakai bahasa Indonesia tuh.
Pakai bahasa Indonesia. Somebody can just translate.
Okay, from Australia.
You have to speak in Indonesian though. Okay, that's fine.
Austrian maybe. No,
Okay.
yeah, I think the team might be a group of individuals that join hands to accomplish something awesome.
Mm-hmm. Great. That's actually exactly right. A team is a group that work together to accomplish something together. So we see a team in the military, right? We see team in sports. We also have team in teamwork, as in the office. So there are all kinds of teams that are working together to make sure that they serve the common purpose. You know, the common purpose is the key word of why a team matters. I hate to break this news for you, but according to TV Insight, Portuguese Insight, 2016, 9 out of 10 startups failed. And why? Number one, there's not enough market demand. Basically, people do not want your product. So that's number one, right? So you have to keep that in mind. Number two, they ran out of cash. So basically, not because they run out of fundings will be available, but they weren't able to manage it effectively. So they ran out of cash. And number three, the third biggest reason why they fail is they do not have the right team. And this is what matters, because if you do have the right team, you don't have number one and number two as your reason to fail. So that's why I think, especially in startups, teamwork is really important, and you really want to make sure that you work with someone that work well with you and who can develop your growth as well. Now, let me share with you the differences between groups and teams. So when you see groups, their goal is to share information, right? All of us are in Startup Local, we are a group. But a team, actually, we serve as a collective performance. As a group, well, we are neutral. We don't have, we have different purposes, different intents. But as a team, you have a positive synergy that you need to work as a team. And accountability for a group is individual, and the team, you are accountable as an individual, but also accountable as a group. And skills for the group, it could be random and varied. And for team, and this is very critical, you have to have skills that are complementary, right? So you cannot have 10 IT people in a team and not one really knows how to do finance. So you really have to think about your makeup of the team and make sure that every skills that you put in your startups, it's complementary. So this is an example of a team where of a group, they work individually, but as a team, you have to work as a synergy. Now, the process of teamwork, this is, I think, a refresher for your undergrads, but this is actually still relevant. You start by acquiring talent, looking complementary skills. You hire for attitude, not just for aptitude. So thinking about what we should do when you hire talent, you really have to think about personality, whether or not they will match with yours. You have to, the makeup of the team, the good makeup of the team is 5 to 7 team members as a starters. And once you have a good amount of the team members, you have to understand the SWOT analysis of your team, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats. Once you have a team, then you would start working on your norms. You have to understand what makes your team happy, what makes your team sad, what makes them angry, right? What are your values? What are the rules of the game? What are the unwritten rules? And you have to come up with a shared vision. Everybody in your team has to have a common purpose, and that's why it's called a team. Usually in storming is where conflict occurs. So establishing goals, processes, and deliverables will be your advantage to manage the conflict. And you also have to set expectations for everybody, including yourself, right? So once you have that done, then the performing is when you deliver as a team, when you have to measure your outcome, and then you have to acknowledge your successes, and you have to celebrate. Now, this is really important for you, especially when you work on a startup team. You have to acknowledge that you have some wins, maybe not big, but you have to have incremental wins that you can celebrate as a team. That's really important for sustaining your growth. So when I see this number, so as an organizational scientist, we see forming, warming, storming. That's actually 80% of time that you need to invest in your team. When you're ready to deliver, you only need 20%. So the planning and the values and the norming actually really requires a lot of time, and you really need to invest in it. And what most people don't understand, they sometimes spend a lot of time forming, but they have not enough time with this, and this is why the teamwork doesn't work. All right, so what makes a great team? Who knows Maslow's hierarchy? Maslow's hierarchy, okay? So people who are in the psychology major need to know what this is. So Maslow come up with a set of diagram of what really makes people happy. So when you look at the physiological, that is when you develop trust in your team. If you don't have trust in your team, you won't be able to deliver. All right. So and when you have trust in your team, then you have to move on to they have to feel safe in sharing their ideas, sharing their inputs, sharing their concerns, and belonging. They have to feel like they're part of the community, part of a team. Right? When they feel left out, when you guys are a bunch of maybe one function and you always have lunch together and one of your team never have lunch with you, that's a problem, right? So you really have to understand people need to feel they belong in your team. Self-esteem, you need to have you need to understand what their passion. And you have to be able to play with their passion. And once they have a purpose, is where they are able to deliver what you need to deliver without even you pushing them to deliver. So from trust is foundation of your team, and then going back to going upward to this diagram is where they have a sense of purpose, not just as a team, but for themselves personally. Google have a really good long scientific research on what makes a perfect team, and this is they shared this, and they said it doesn't matter the makeup, it doesn't matter how smart they are in the team, but they have to feel safe. They have to be able to feel safe and share their ideas, their concerns. They have to feel that everybody is dependable. If you're sick, somebody will cover for you, no matter what, no questions asked. They need to feel that they are able to depend on their team. There has to be a structure and clarity. Every person in your team has to have a job roles. If you do not have one, that's a problem that they need to take care of. Their work have to have a meaning. What is the purpose? Okay, you're building like an app, but what's that app for? How you're helping people going to point A to point B. Now that's a better meaning. That's a better purpose. And they're actually they're looking for startups that are making an impact. So you have to think about what are you trying to make? What kind of impact are you trying to make? That's really important because that impact is actually where you can attract the best team members for your team. Now, when you talk about conflict, people would think conflict always hinders. Conflict pasti jadi masalah, but actually in this scientific research, setiap ada orang yang kerja, pasti ada conflict. When there's a group of people working together, there's always a conflict, right? You cannot avoid it. But conflict is actually really good. Conflict is actually really good. So you have to change your mindset. When they do research on task complexity, the complex the task, the better the team perform. Jadi kalau semakin rumit, semakin susah kerjanya, semakin bagus tim kerjanya. Information processing, when they have conflict of roles, sometimes that's where they communicate and that's where they team are better perform. And conflict of expression, jadi kalau ada konflik selalu diomongin, you put everything on a table and you solve it as a team. That actually leads to better performance. And this research says there is no differences in age and gender. So when you think about how you hire people on your team, you shouldn't think about, okay, harus umur berapa, harus perempuan atau laki-laki. It doesn't really matter. It matters is whether or not their skills are complementary to your team. When you look at the conflict, the link between conflict to innovation is actually really good. When you have conflict in your team, that's when you have frictions. Banyak conflict, banyak there's ideas, there are concerns, there's anger sometimes. But when you manage it effectively, when you're able to put your individuality aside and you have that common. When you have that common purpose, that's where the innovation occurs. So having conflicts is actually good for your team. If you don't have conflicts, that's where you have to be concerned. Okay? All right, so is conflict good or bad? Good. Good if you manage it effectively. Right? All right, so this is from Airbnb founder. It's all about culture. A company's culture is the foundation of future innovation. An entrepreneur job is to build that foundation. Jadi founder itu jangan cuma mikir, oke, gimana bikin duit depan atau make your stakeholders happy, but actually you really have to think about the culture that you put in every day. Kalau Anda suka telat, don't expect your team members will be there for you earlier. Kalau Anda suka lunch yang lama, don't expect your team member will have a shorter lunch than you. So you really have to set an example as founder. If you penalize them for not being good or not perform, you really have to think about yourself, whether or not you're actually performing really well in the organization. So you as a founder has the biggest accountability before your team members. You just have to think about that. Once you have that in your mind, that's when you create a culture. So this is actually a real recent research, Glassdoor. Who knows Glassdoor? It's a company of reviews research. They researched about 6,000 companies over 2.2 tests. So they researched over 2.2 million employees, and they said the biggest drawing factors for them to want to be in your team. Number one is your culture and values. What do you value? What kind of impact are you trying to make? Number two is actually career opportunities. What kind of growth that I will expect by joining your company? Number three is confidence in senior leadership. This is you, founders and co-founders, really have to define what are you trying to achieve, and what kind of team that you would want to have in your company. And number four, work-life balance. And they noted that for employees under 35, the millennial generation, the number one attraction of why they apply for a company is actually career opportunities. And this is quite difficult for a startup, because startup biasanya nggak ada roles yang defined, but you really have to think about what kind of impact you're trying to make. That's how you define roles and career opportunities for your employees. So I want to share this success story. So Zappos. Zappos was acquired by Amazon. I actually met the founder, Tony Hsieh. He's very kind, very nice. He is really focused on culture fit, and he stresses out the holacracy versus bureaucracy. That's the extreme side of bureaucracy. There's no roles, nggak ada posisi, nggak ada hierarchy. Everyone doesn't have a title. So everybody has to work within their function. Jadi HR aja, IT aja, sales aja, without any managerial or supervisor or assistant. Everybody has to work together like that. Jadi culture media, kalau mau habis hire orang, they actually once they hire somebody, they actually offer $2,000 for that person to quit after the first week of training. Jadi tujuannya mereka untuk weed out the employees that they don't want to be part of. Another story about Tony Shea, it's actually kalau misalnya ada yang interview, yang ditanya tuh bukan hiring manajernya, but also supirnya, resepsionisnya, tukang bersih-bersihnya. Ditanya sama Tony Shea, gimana sih orang itu? Kalau ada satu orang yang bilang, dia nggak baik terhadap saya, they're not gonna hire this guy. So that's how he really focused on making sure everybody's there, want to be there, and have the right attitude. Number 2 is the Square Space. This is, they're are voted best place to work in NYC by Crane Magazine. I think they're similar with Zappos. That's very flat organizations, very few levels, but yang dibilang sama pegawainya, they encourage ideas, and they have direct access of management. Jadi semua senior leadership itu, they have an open door policy. Everybody can come in, everybody can raise their concerns without having to have 2-3 levels below them to wait until whether or not they understand what they want to do. So they have a good culture, good open and transparent culture. And number 3 is Warby Parker. Who knows Warby Parker? Okay, great. If you read Adams Grant's Originals, you should. It's a really good story. It's about startups. Warby Parker disrupted an eyewear industry. They're founded in 2010. They're called the Netflix of eyewear by GQ, and they're now valued at $1.2 billion. And they're sort of like their landing page of their career page. It's actually about culture. So they said, well, if you want to be part of us, we have a ground rules of Warby Parker. And here's our first ground rules. Treat customers the way we'd like to be treated. So they really put the culture right in front of their career page. So this is where we do another exercise. Can someone help share the papers and pens? So this is what I want you to think about, right? So after you learn about what makes a great team, the process of teams, and how you want to build your startup, this is a question I want to ask you. How do you envision your team should be? Jadi teamwork seperti apa yang Anda harus create in your startups? If you don't have startups, then you dream about having one. If you do have startups, then you dream about what's the best makeup of your startups. All right, where are all the helpers? Yeah, so basically I want you to pair up in 3. Jadi 3 atau 4. You just sit where you are. I want you to not write it down, but I want you to draw it. So someone in your team should draw what do you envision how your team should be. All right? So 3 to 4. 3 atau 4 aja, jangan ini 4. 4-3 doesn't matter. So think about how you want your team should be. Anybody needs a pen? Raise your hand. Someone will give it to you. All right, let me know if your team does not still have a paper. Raise your hand. Yang belum ada kertas. Tolong Mbak. Alright, siapa yang masih belum ada kertas?
Berkurir masih agak mahal aja kalau mau direct kurir.
Yang belum ada kertas sudah ada.
Kalau di Carrefour apa ini bisa aja.
Iya bawah ada, biar di belakang. Ada satu lagi di belakang.
Ya, kalau ini udah 14 tahun.
Alright.
Ini udah 6 tahun.
Everything has a paper? Yes? Okay. So start one person you decide one person should be the scriber. Jadi cuma satu orang yang tulis. Yang selebihnya you are the team member, so you direct them how to do it. Okay? Cuma satu orang aja. Okay? We have about 5 minutes starting now. Do not write on the paper, draw on the paper. Anybody needs a pen? Raise your hand if you need pens. Think about the process of team, so you really have to plan it. Anybody needs a pen? Alright, I'm gonna go around and you can do what you need to do. Teamwork yang paling baik apa? Gambar. Satu tim bertiga, cuma satu kertas saja. 30 menit ya, 4 more minutes. Better get started. Draw what kind of a team do you want to be. It doesn't matter, just draw. This is not Patino Stadium, just draw the best you can. Alright, we got 3 more minutes. You better have something on your paper. Just the picture, no writing at all. Just the picture. Cuma gambar aja. Cuma gambar aja, Bu. Jangan ada tulisan. What kind of teamwork do you want to do? You have to draw it. Doesn't matter, just draw. Yeah, what kind of teamwork do you want to do? Kita pilih seperti apa yang mau di Alright, who's ready to show? We got 2 more minutes. Then we're starting the show. You're done. You're done. All right, you have 1 more minute. You better get it done, okay? There's no winners or losers here. Jangan ditulis Pak, digambar. Digambar. Ada mic di jalan ya? Ada mic di jalan. Oke. Alright, time is up. Put your pen down. Put your pen down. Alright, I want you to raise your paper up. I want to see what it looks like for now. Put your paper up.
Oh, kira bawa langsung.
Put your paper up. Yes, stop drawing. Put your paper up. Alright, awesome. Alright, good. So keep it down for now. I want 3 volunteers.
Dia hanya meletakkan sebuah kacamata di lantai gitu. Banyak orang yang melihat itu, Pak.
We need someone for the ladies. What for the ladies? A real lady. Okay, good. So everybody, 4 of you, if you can speak, 3 of you, can stand right here. Turn right into your paper. Or you can, you know what? You can sit right there. Oh, you can stand right there. No. Stand right there. Just stand right there. And show, can you show the pictures to everybody? Or you can describe what it looks like. Describe what it looks like.
So it looks like a puzzle where all the team members actually fit together, but they look different in their maybe color or the shapes that are drawn on the puzzles. That means each and everyone is unique regarding their own specialties and experiences. So they're fitting together, yet they're unique in each one.
Great. All right, so let me ask you this. How do you make a decision? Wait, how do you make a decision of what to draw?
Well, we kind of like brainstormed first, and then we came up with one picture that looks like a Pokemon ball.
Do you have Pokemon ball here? Yay!
Okay. And then we kind of like draw something smaller, and then we came up with this one. So,
all right,
we started talking about it. Then.
Great. Well, thank you so much. Let's give her a round of applause. Thank you. Who's our next volunteer? Raise your hand.
Lady.
Who's right here? Zaki. All right. So show everybody your paper.
It's a home.
It's a home.
Yes.
Okay.
I will speak in Indonesian. Okay. Building a home, membangun rumah itu is very hard, sangat susah. Okay. Banyak bagian yang harus tersambung. Ada bagian yang mahal, atau ada bagian yang sangat berfungsi dengan fungsinya harus sangat bagus, pengepang lantai. Tapi coba remove satu paku kecil di situ, yang lain bisa bertahan. Jadi maksudnya enggak fungsinya sekecil atau sebesar apapun, kalau ada satu yang enggak working, everybody gonna pop up.
Thank you. And how do you manage your conflict? Do you have conflict in your team?
Oh yes.
How do you manage it? How do you make a decision?
Conflict.
Yeah. Ada konflik nggak tadi bikin? How do you, when you draw, like, do you?
No.
All right, so who makes the decision?
Who's make decision? Me. I pay them.
You pay them. You're not paying me.
Yes.
Okay.
I pay.
We got a top. We got a top.
This is not for free.
All right, thank you. Let's give him a round of applause, please. All right, our last volunteer. All right, stand up and show everybody the picture. All right, so can you describe what that is?
I will speak in Indonesia. Sebenarnya gambar ini belum selesai karena kita semua menyatukan ide dulu. Sebenarnya gambar ini adalah niatnya mau kita gambar tuh family. Kenapa family? Karena orang itu akan feel safe jika tim itu seperti dianggap seperti family. Dan juga ketika family memberi input, their input is untuk menunjukkan rasa caring, kepedulian bahwa yang dikasih tahu itu adalah untuk kebaikan diri sendiri, untuk kebaikan diri orang tersebut gitu yang dikasih tahu. Kenapa makanya family? Actually sebenarnya kita tuh inspired tadi dari family ke Godfather juga sih. Karena inspired dari Godfather karena Godfather sendiri kayak ngebikin empire of family business gitu, dan juga akhirnya dia makanya ada Godfather 1, Godfather 2, Godfather 3 karena bisnisnya sustain gitu lama jadinya.
Yeah, I don't think that's kind of business you want to be in. So thank you. How do you make decisions?
We discuss each other.
Okay. Do you have conflicts in your team? All right, good. So I would like to see if we can collect all the papers and want to put somewhere here so everybody can see it later and take pictures, right? Can 2, 3 volunteers just collect the papers, please? And we'll probably put it here so everybody can see it later. My other question to you is, what is your takeaway from all this? What is your takeaway from your exercise? Anybody want to jump in? What's your takeaway from all this? All right, you, sir. Do you have a mic? Yeah. What's your takeaway from having this team exercise?
Leverage on the strengths of your team members and don't be distracted by Pokemon.
Good, yeah. Very distracted to have Pokemon everywhere in your workplace. All right, great, thank you. Who else? What is your takeaway from your team? Of team exercise? Somebody from over there.
Yeah, so I think when the task is coming, the first I feel is everybody has idea. So how to and the idea is different because we have 4% and 4% it means there's more idea. But how to make the idea to be there is the innovation and then make the best idea and just go.
Great, thank you. All right, good. All right, what's my next slide? All right, so here are my takeaways, right? My takeaway is you really have to understand how to create your team, and you really have to be personally invested in helping them grow, not just for your company, but also for each of your team members. You have to understand that you need to have their attitude, their positive attitude, and also not just their skills. You have to understand, establish clear vision, because if you don't know what your vision is, how would you expect your team member will follow you? You have to understand your team's needs, your personal needs, their professional needs, and then you really have to celebrate success. That's how you can acknowledge and appreciate their hard work. And this is my hashtag. A hashtag, well, it's my personal favorite. It's never stop learning. You as a co-founder have the responsibility to keep learning no matter what you do. Because once you stop learning, you know what? That's when your company stops growing. All right. So no matter what you do, you need to really keep your learning agility. All right. We have a mini video.
Every single night, every single practice, every single game, we gotta give it all we got. We gonna bother us. Everything that we do on this floor, because of the city, we own it. We're gonna grind for this city. They're gonna support us, man. We gotta give it all back to them. We get it done. Something that we had on the court will come from the city. Everybody, the whole city, clear. That's what it's all about. It's time to bring something special. So when you're on there, everybody, let's go. Let's go. All work on 3. Down on 6. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Yeah. All work on 3. Down on 6. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Yeah. You know, man. All work on 3. Down on 6. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Let's go right here. Let's get it. So, click on 3. 1, 2, 3.
All right, thanks. So what do you see in this video? What do you see in this video? Talk about teamwork. Just raise your hand. What do you see in this video? Teamwork? Yep. What else? Leadership? What else? Spirit? It says spirit. Okay, what else? You can just speak up. What? Persuasion? Persuasion, right? That's what? Motivation? Right? What else? What else do you see in this 2 minutes video? Common purpose? Right? Everybody wants to win, not just the team members, but also the entire city of Cleveland. Right? What else do you see? Leadership? Persistence? Right? Determination. What else? One more. Sure. Involvement. When you hear these words, think about whether or not you hear these words in your team. Have you heard determination in your team? Have you heard motivation? Have you heard persistence? Have you heard persuasion? If you never heard of this kind of words in your team, you really have to take a step back and think about what would make your team be successful. Right? And this is actually, this video was created 2 years before he actually won this year. But the energy that he created just by playing basketball actually inspires the whole city to be better. So think about your impact, not just on your team, the impact of the city, the impact of your country, right? So this is where I would like to sort of end my talk tonight, calling all Indonesian startups. That's you. this is our purpose. What's the purpose for us being here? Right? We're networking, we're meeting new people, but also helping build Indonesia's digital economy. As you can see, President Jokowi, he has a goal to reach $130 billion by 2020. That's like what? 4 years down the road. He wants to create 1,000 techpreneurs by 2020. And with the Asian economic community, that's our challenge and opportunities. You know, we have talent shortage. Some of our regulatory purposes does not work with the startup ecosystem. But this is your impact, right? You should have to think about your impact and not just your startup, but also you're impacting 200 million people in Indonesia. So you really have to think your startups as making an impact to your country. So this is I will leave you this note. How will you contribute? And hopefully by tonight or next week, you will have an answer. This is how I will contribute to Indonesia. Thank you.
Yes, okay guys, it's time to Q&A session. Berapa pertanyaan bu? Okay, 3 questions. Yes, okay. 1, 2, yang cewek. Saya yang cewek, dia yang cowok. Sebutkan nama, dari mana, dan pertanyaannya apa.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Nama saya Fauzi. Sorry pakai bahasa Indonesia aja ya. Mau nanya, ini ada 3. Jadi, oke. Jadi pertama, biar kita tahu kita kan masih awal cari tim awal lalu. Nah, biar kita tahu si orang ini yang sesuai dengan kita dan bagaimana pendaftarannya dan juga ketika sudah kita udah tim dan kapan kita tahu dia itu bukan kita orang yang sesuai dengan kita. Terima kasih.
Satu dan siapa? Terus satu yang baik silakan Bapak dijawab dulu.
So I think saya boleh pakai bahasa Inggris nggak?
Boleh.
Saya campur ya, campur. So basically, if you want to hire a team member, Anda sendiri mesti harus tahu culture yang Anda mau create apa. You have to start with yourself, right? You have to create your own mission, your own vision. It may seem redundant. It's actually really important. That's like kalau rumah, that's like foundation of your company, right? Mission, vision, your culture, what are you trying to create, and from there, that's how you can see. Okay, so this is the kind of team I want to hire because this is where they will fit, right? Kalau misalnya Anda perlu team members yang very experienced, you won't be able to find it in the kuliahan, right? In the undergrads. You have to find it in people who are actually working professionals. So in order for you to understand what kind of team members you need, you have to define what does that mean for you and your company. Once you have that team, then you have to, like I said, create your common purpose. Why are they there? What do you want them to be there? What is your expectations? Once you have that expectation, everybody has to work with that same kind of expectations. Kalau misalnya Anda harus mengharuskan semua orang datang jam 7 pagi, Anda harus datang jam 7 pagi juga. Jangan juga setengah 8, jam 8, and then not come at all. So you really have to be accountable not just for your team member, but also for you. Sometimes people have different interests. Sometimes they have different needs. Sometimes karena keluarga jadi punya different purposes. You have to let them go. You have to be able to say, all right, maybe this is something that you are not part of. Maybe there's a better team for you, right? Sometimes setelah 6 bulan atau setahun, tim member itu memang nggak pas lagi karena mereka interestnya berbeda gitu. So you really have to understand your team's strengths and weaknesses and be able to provide them a place where they can you know, you can say, all right, so maybe this is something that we can talk because your expectation is different than my expectation, and what are we going to do about it? But in order for you to do that, you really have to understand what you really need in the beginning. I hope that answers your question.
Next question. Tadi oke. Yang ketiga cewek ya. Sebutkan nama dari mana dan pertanyaannya.
Hello, good evening, good night everyone. Grogi ya. My name is Absharayun. I'm building my personal website, absharayun.com, and right now I want to build my own startup. But the challenge is everyone says I'm very young. I'm 19 years old right now, and people are still saying that you're too young to build your own startup, and nobody believes if you want to build a team. My question is it true that I'm too young to build my own startup? And if it's not, how to build the true team, the correct team, even if I am still young to build my own startup? Thank you for your answer.
All right, so there are two questions. My first response for your first question: you're never too young to build your startup. As soon as you think I want to be a startup, that's where you start building one, because it takes a lot of efforts and building your skills and your persistence to make a good startup. So might as well just do it. Doesn't matter what people tell you. People will tell you whatever they want to tell you, but you need to really do what you want to do. Second of all, you don't have skills, you don't have experience, you don't have knowledge, right? But you do have spirit, you have energy, and that's what other people need from you. So I would say this is a really good place for you to hang out with. Start hanging out with these people that they have resources, they have support system. The people are here, they want to learn. So they're, in a way, they're already self-filtered. Everybody that's here, they want to learn, and they want to learn from someone. So start here, learn from everybody, learn from each other. Pendidikan nggak cuma selalu harus dari sekolahan, tapi dari semua orang yang ada di sini. Everybody has something to contribute. So you really have to think about learning from everybody. That's how you gain your experience and knowledge. All right, thank you. Next question.
Ya, perempuan, female. Okay.
From a female.
Selamat malam semua. Oke, nama saya Laura dan aku akan bertanya dalam Indonesia saja. Oke, saya mau bertanya simpelnya begini. Yang pertama sih katanya kan tak kenal maka tak sayang. Jadi sebenarnya saya sih dari awal mendengar tadi bagaimana sih Mbak bisa sampai di titik ini, karena nggak semua orang, apalagi orang Indonesia, ingin bisa keluar negeri dan berkarya di luar negeri. Dari tadi saya mendengar energi yang ditampilkan di video, just do it. Jadi saya ingin mendengar juga dari Mbak sampai bisa di titik ini, karena saya senang membaca biografi orang. Oke, karena the point is, aku kerja di 3 tempat sekaligus, tapi juga bikin usaha. Contohnya Bersistem Indonesia. Bersistem Indonesia itu bergerak di bidang kita membuat aplikasi-aplikasi. Saya bergabung dengan teman-teman saya dari ITB dan Telkom Bandung. Lalu saya berkepikiran saya juga bersama dengan teman-teman di Matoa untuk pembuatan jam handmade. Mungkin teman-teman udah ada yang tahu. Lalu saya kepikiran untuk saat ini mau bikin website dan produksi furniture untuk logo dengan tema logo Koka Indonesia. Yang menjadi pertanyaan saya berkaitan dengan tim. Saya kesulitan dalam menemukan tim karena saya punya trauma yang sangat luar biasa. Karena ada yang mengatakan cari tim itu cari yang profesional. At least kamu kenal dari tempat kerja, dari something like LinkedIn atau yang lain seperti itu. Jangan percaya sama teman. Oke, saya ikuti, tapi ternyata juga dia pernah beli saya 40 juta sampai sekarang belum keluar. Ya. Dan
ada di sini ya?
Enggak, sini. Dan yang kedua, saya pernah juga saking traumanya ngajak teman. Tapi karena saking dia merasa saya orangnya bekerja, saya punya prinsip bekerja dengan life. Life itu apa? With the example, integrity, fast, cepat ya, sama enhancement. Yang saya mau tanyakan, ketika saya mengajak teman saya untuk bergabung, yang ada teman saya itu nggak bisa seperti yang kita mau sama tim, karena merasa teman saya ini kalau saya salah dia bisa menerima saya gitu. Jadi saya sampai detik ini kesulitan gitu. Jadi apa pendapat Mbak dan bagaimana solusi untuk yang saya hadapi saat ini? Thank you so much.
Nggak cukup semalam ini ngobrol-ngobrol. Sampai weekend ini. Yang pertama apa ya? Why am I here? Why? Okay. Jadi kalau menurut saya cerita saya ini happens chances and opportunities. Jadi saya selalu lihat my life is a sum of my choices. Jadi hidup saya selalu ada pilihan dan pilihan itu yang bikin saya jadi who I am today. Gitu. Jadi saya mulai dari sekolah and then saya intern, and then learn a lot from other people. Within 6 months, they promote me to manager, and then within 5-6 years, they promoted to senior manager and managing $1.2 billion project, a global mergers acquisition project. So I see that every day is your choice, right? You can choose to not do anything. You can choose to bangun siang, or you can choose to manage your time effectively. Jadi saya lihat waktu itu selalu investment yang sangat berharga. Saya nggak lihat duit itu lebih berharga dari waktu. Waktu saya sangat berharga. Apalagi I'm a mom of 3 kids, so I need to make sure I support my most valuable clients, right? But I think, especially with females, with women, karena ada digital economy ini, we can do a lot with flexible time. Jadi saya sambil sekolah S3, building my own team, my own catalyst, consulting, as well as managing my own 3 kids. And maybe 10 years ago, you never heard of that before. But now, you actually can do it. Jadi, what I'm saying is, you don't have to copy what people think, what you think people are as success, but you have to, be you, be the best, your best self. And I'm sure you are here, you have a good intention, you put your time and investment in learning, you will do wonderful. And you have to just keep learning and see where your future takes you. And with teamwork, I think it's the same as well. You really need to define what you need, since that you have a lot of interests in different business. And I'm not saying that you cannot do them all, but you need to think about what's your focus first. Maybe you need to have one focus. Once that's developed, then you need to do another one. But teamwork, same thing. We really have to define what you want from your team, right? Kalau Anda perlu orang yang bisa percaya, then you really have to think about riwayat hidupnya itu. Their professional experience, maybe their referrals, orang temannya dia bilang apa sih tentang dia gitu loh. You really have to do your homework. You can't trust people without their basis, right? Without a basis. But learn from everybody here. This is why the community is built, that you really have to learn from each other. Hope that helps.
Oke, Mbak Reno, closing statement sebelum boleh pertanyaan terakhir.
Go ahead.
Oke, monggo.
Quick one.
Oke, malam. Saya Jovan. Saya saat ini membangun sebuah startup ya. Saat ini menjadi saya ada 2 kemungkinan ya. Itu satu di talipublishing.com. Oke, kita mau ngobrolin tim. Jadi kita ngomong tim ya. Tim kan ada yang beberapa orang. Ada
melakukan tugas-tugas berbeda. Ya. Oh ya, sorry saya bahasa Indonesia agak buru-buru, jadi takutnya kalau pakai bahasa Inggris nanggung bahasa Inggris saya. Oke, gini, tim kan beragam orang kan ya, untuk posisi masing-masing. Oke, dalam tim juga kita ngomong ada performance yang berbeda-beda. Ya, ada yang gue bilang good, ada yang lacking. Ya, dan saya merasa sebenarnya kalau di sisi bisnis startup itu yang namanya resource itu kita ngomong resource itu salah satunya mungkin ya lebih ke investment dan funding ya. Nah, what happens? What do you think is better? Ya, kita kalau misalnya mungkin yang lacking, ya, underperformance, ya, what should we do with them? Karena ya kita di satu hal ya kita nggak mau membangun culture kan. Tim kan pengennya sama-sama. Tapi we have teams that are underperforming. Oke, kita gimana gitu? Menurut Anda kita nanti gimana untuk dengan tim yang seperti ini?
Jadi, because you have teams that are performing well, you have teams that are not performing well. So your question is, what should we do with the teams that are not performing well?
Yes, should we nurture them or okay, that's the question.
Okay, so my question is again, what is your expectation? Do you have the same expectations for every team, or do you have different expectations?
Expectations based on the roles.
On their what? Based on the roles, but the quality of performance have to be the same, right? So they have to have the same kind of expectation. That I think that's the key of building the trust. If you start making differences from your expectations, that's how can people trust you to promote and provide good compensation? So that's my question to you. You really have to think about setting the same expectations, not roles can be different, but quality of expectations have to be the same. Otherwise, you're creating a bad company to begin with. So you really have to think about what would be better for my company. And if these employees that are not performing well, you really have to think about, do they have resources? Do they have enough resources? Kalau mereka belum mengerti, do they have time to learn what they need to learn? So you really have to think about how to support them first, but then you still have to set their same expectations, right? So once you understand that they have maybe weaknesses, try to give them support, resources, whatever you can, right? But after that, you really have to think about, make a decision for your company. Okay, so as a founder, you really have to make tough choices. So that's what you need to do. All right.
Okay, I think it's not. Silakan Mbak, closing statement.
I'm not ready for this. Well, I think I'm really privileged to be here. I'm honored to be here in front of you. Saya sendiri baru punya startup 1 year old, which is not old. Baru setahun ini saya work in a startup industry, and I see so many potentials in front of me. So what I want to see next year when I come back is so many of you becoming mentors for another startups, because that's how we learn as a community. For you to learn from me, and for you to pay it forward to others to keep learning and to keep giving. And that's how we can create a beautiful economy for our beautiful country. And thank you. Thank you for your time.
Oke, saya tepuk tangannya untuk Mbak Reno. Sebelum lanjut kita punya ritual foto bersama. Tapi saya pengen dulu teman-teman lokal, Mbak Nonik, Mbak Oli, ada Mas Natali enggak ya? Bisa keluar sebentar kita akan foto bersama karena kita akan menutup acara kali ini. Mas Natali ada nggak? Oh, the way. Kita abaikan saja. Dan ini merupakan tim inti startup lokal kami berenam. Dan sejak tahun 2010 kami mengadakan meetup ini dan ini yang ke-67. Berani gabung juga perwakilan Telkom. Nantikan bulan depan spesial edition Hari Kemerdekaan Indonesia, kita akan mengundang beberapa founder yang dianggap pahlawan. Nantikan saja di Meetup.com. Oke, siap-siap. 1, 2. Berapa kamera? Oke teman-teman, kita juga akan foto bersama dengan teman-teman semua. Silakan ke depan, yuk. Oh belum, oke. Kamera siapa ini? Ada ini kamera lagi. Oke teman-teman, silakan semuanya ke depan, kita foto bersama. Sekali lagi terima kasih kepada Mbak Reno, terima kasih kepada teman-teman startup lokal yang hadir, terima kasih juga buat Telkom, terima kasih buat teman-teman semua yang hadir di Meetup lokal ke-67. Jumpa lagi bulan depan, saksikan jadwal.com. Kita akan foto bersama kumpulan dan kita masih punya waktu hingga jam 10 hingga networking. Jadi manfaatkan waktu ini untuk saling berkenalan dan juga menambah pertemanan. Silakan semuanya ke depan, kita akan berfoto bersama, dokumentasi, dan kita masih punya waktu hingga pukul 10 untuk networking. Ayo, semuanya ke depan, kita foto bersama, jangan dipulang sebagai dokumentasi meetup kita yang ke-67. Ayo, sekarang ke depan, teman-teman. Yuk. Dan sekali lagi saya ingatkan kita masih punya 3 pukul 10 untuk networking. Jadi manfaatkan waktu ini dengan langsung ngobrol dengan Mbak Reno, bisa ngobrol dengan teman-teman startup dan juga para founder startup yang lain. Silakan ke depan, kita foto bersama untuk dokumentasi di meetup kali ini. Yuk. Bisa dipercepat langkahnya. Ayo silakan semuanya ke depan, kita berfoto bersama terlebih dahulu. Dan saya ingatkan kembali bahwa kita masih punya 3 pukul 10 di networking. Teman-teman juga bisa langsung ngobrol dengan pemateri kita dan juga menambah network di sesi kali ini. Yang moto itu sebelah sana, oke. Ya teman-teman, kita ke depan, kita foto bersama. Oke. Siap-siap kamera yang belakang ya. Oke. Siap. 1, 2, 3. Yang baju biru. 1, 2, 3. Masih ada? Oke, kayak bebas. Oke, kamera yang lain. Punya siapa kameranya? Punya Bandung nih. Oke, siap-siap. Bebas siap. 1, 2, 3, cheese. Oke, masih ada kameranya? Udah, oke. Teman-teman terima kasih. Masih ada waktu kurang lebih 1 jam untuk networking. Silakan manfaatkan waktu untuk ngobrol dengan speaker, dengan teman-teman yang lain, dan jumpa lagi di meetup yang di bulan Agustus edisi Hari Kemerdekaan Nasional. Saya pamit. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.